Hey, 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 welcome, welcome. It's Friday Reads Live. I'm Dee Dee from Bronco Reading, and I'm here to talk about what we're reading today, Friday, this weekend, and sometimes into the following week. So I see no one in the chat for the moment, but I will give you a minute to show up. If you watch this, please feel free to come in and let us know what you're reading on Friday or this weekend. Because we love to share about what we're reading, what we like, what we don't like. It's fun over here. This is where we're honest about what's really up with what we're reading. So, wait to see if anybody comes into the chat. For the moment, I see no one. So I see three people are watching. So I'm gonna go right into telling you what I'm reading today and this week. So the first book I'm concentrating on is Juneteenth by Ralph Ellison. This is the September pick for my Read So Lit book club, and we'll be discussing this in a week. Yeah, so not this weekend, next weekend. So reading that, it's not too long, around 340 some odd pages. So I need to get started on this one. The second one I'm reading is this one right here, which is on Harlem by Karen Galby. I am reading this one with Patrice. At the beginning, I'm like somewhere around the first quarter or half of the first act. The book is partitioned in the prologue, and then it has three acts. So I'm in Act One, in the middle of Act One, pretty much. I'm reading this with her and enjoying it a lot. The writing is very good. This nonfiction is very interesting. So that's what I'm focusing on this weekend because I had to like make some decisions because I can't just be reading five books forever. So I decided to narrow my reading down this weekend to these two, and with the hopes that I can get halfway through this one and halfway through this one because like get it together, it's just like all over the place. All right, so let's see who we got in the chat. Welcome, welcome, Oma Lola. How are you? How are you? Share. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Lola. Happy Friday, Tracy. Birdie, happy Friday. Shannon, happy Friday. Yolanda, happy Friday as well. Welcome. Tracy says, hope everyone has had a good week. Yeah, it kind of went by quick this week for me personally. Birdie said, still working on Dungeon Crawler. Carl and I have been reading. Oh, much this week. Very good. Hello, Curtis. Welcome. Happy Friday. Hey, Billy's in the chat. Happy Friday. The sound kind of muffled, or is it just me? Girl, that sound better not muffled, because it just might be probably a bad connection. Let's see. I'm reading Juneteenth, and the tiny things are heavier, but well, the title is very interesting for that. Okay, let me see if I got it now, because girl, Esther. Oh my God, Esther. If Ifishinaki Okonkwo. Okonkwo. I don't think I got the one in the middle right. Um, sorry. Billy said her sound is good. Okay, good. Because I feel like the connection is not great sometimes. So, okay, it's good now. Okay, yeah. The connection problem. That's what I thought. Um, Amalola's is gonna tell me if I pronounce that correctly. I think the one in the middle is wrong. I think I got Okonkwo. I think that's correct. Esther, correct. But it's Fishinaki. Fishinaki? Ooh. Sharon said currently reading Dominion. Okay, I've heard a lot of people reading Dominion by Addie Sitchins and liking it. Okay. Okay, Twitter sound is good. Cher said reading The Sweetness of Water by Nathan Harris. I started that one when it came out. I started it, but I only got a quarter of the way through, and for some reason, I just left it. I didn't DNF it. I just stopped reading it and never went back. So I might need to kind of swing back on that one. Um, yeah, of course it's good, but the one in the middle ain't good. Yeah, it ain't good because I mean, I'm looking at it and it's like, is it a Fibonacci or a Fibonacci? Mm, I don't know. Help me out. Help me out. That one. Middle one is not easy to work out. But I'm trying, girl. I'm trying. I was looking, actually I was looking the other day to see if there were any more Nollywood movies to watch. Oh, it's Fibonacci. Wait, let me look at it again. Uh Fibonacci. Fibonacci. Okay, all right. Um I'm gonna try. Is it Fibonacci? Yeah, she said this is one of Fibonacci. Um, yeah, I was looking to see if there was any more Nollywood shows to watch, and I think maybe two or three that I haven't watched yet. So I might get back on track with that. But being that we're doing the big read along of Bleak House the 2 months, probably gonna get to know. I'm probably not gonna read. I'm not gonna watch anything really. Because I'm gonna be reading a lot. So yeah, so that's that. Um so did everybody say what they were reading? Tracy, what are you reading? So Dominion, I mean I haven't heard any reviews of Dominion, but I see that there's a lot of people reading Dominion. So I don't know if people are actually in. Let me just look it up and see what it says on Goodreads. If people are really enjoying Dominion, because I see people posting it everywhere. Dominion everywhere. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Um. Okay. It has a 4-star rating. That's really good. It has 233 reviews, 966 ratings, and it's already at 4 stars. Okay. Let's see if there's anybody I know in here who rated it. No, nobody in. Oh, well, no. Roxanne Gay gave it 5 stars. And Tracy from the Stacks gave it 5 stars as well. She said it's a thrilling debut. So yeah, so Dominion is cracking out to be something that people really are really enjoying. Wait, let me see. Let's see. Curtis says currently reading Hold My Girl by Charlene Carr. Grant Park. Oh yes, Grant Park by Leonard Fitz Jr. That's a great one. And Race and Reckoning by Ellis Coase, a nonfiction book. Okay, very nice. Nice lineup there. I think you're gonna really like Grant Park. It's kind of funny and serious at the same time. Malone said, I don't really watch TV like that. Well, I mean, I don't watch it a lot, but I do watch it. So when I'm watching it, especially like when I was watching Nollywood, I was watching a lot of Nollywood like in a row kind of thing. I'm not going to be doing that the next couple months. I'm going to be laying off the TV kind of thing. Um, hey DL, how are you? Happy Friday, girl. DL says liked but did not love the man. You liked it, so does that mean you give it a 3? Is it a 3 for you? Have heard such good things, but it was just okay to me. Okay, so that I guess that makes it a 3 for you, DL. Can you confirm that? DL said I have no idea what I am reading. To be honest, I just finished a thriller by Melinda Lee. Okay, love her. Got a lot of romances stacked up. Okay. Oh, she had the author on her podcast. Okay. All right. But she really liked the book. She gave it 5 stars, so girl liked it. Birdie said I've been watching Adolescence. Oh, that's really good. That young man in that movie was he was fire. He was really really good. That was a really good one. It's hard to watch in places, but it's done extremely well. There's like a really there's a huge realism around that particular Netflix movie, or should I say mini series. The realism is off the chain. I mean, off the chain. So so good. I want to listen. I did watch Unknown Caller over the weekend. Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I mean, everybody was talking about it. But I didn't watch it. Hey Rosa, how are you? Happy Friday. Okay, DL said I can't wait for fall TV to be back. Seems like they end earlier in May and come back later. What's with October and January and premieres? Yeah. Amalola says, and I need to finish Adolescence. Girl, finish it. It's good. DL said, yeah, I think it was a 3 for Dominion. Okay, that's, I mean, because I think Tracy, you said it was like a 3 too. You said it was all right. It wasn't great, but it was all right. Yolanda says, just finished Not That Bad and The Handmaid's Tale. Those are both heavy reads. Now I'm reading Trouble in Mind by Leon F. Litwack. Okay, I don't know Trouble in Mind. Might have to look that one up. I'm a little to Yolanda. Those are some heavy books. Yeah, you see, I said the same. DL said, yes, Tracy liked Dominion a lot, and she's not big on fiction. That's why I picked it up. It wasn't a bad book. I just wasn't drooling. Well, you see, that's the difference when you read a lot of nonfiction. Sometimes when you're reading fiction, some things that a normal fiction reader like we are will find it to be quite ordinary. There's nothing special about it, but they'll find it refreshing, because it is different from what they usually read. Bertie said the young man is absolutely amazing. Yes, he is, and is going to have a fantastic career. I think so too, because he shows it off in that one. I mean, there's some difficult scenes, and he does it so so well. I mean, it knocked it out of the park. He was very very good. DL said unknown caller, as Aaron would say, blew my wig back. Yeah, that's what I hear about it. Was yeah, couldn't believe that one. Bertie said, I don't know if I just hit if it just hit me harder because my younger siblings are around that age. Yeah. Well, it hit us pretty hard. My husband and I watched it together, and we were just like, my God. There's one scene in particular. Yeah, the scene where the kid gets arrested and he has to be strip searched. That scene was like, because you're not seeing the kid, you're seeing the father's face, because the father opts to stay with his son throughout him being arrested. But the camera is literally on the father's face the whole time. It is heartbreaking. I mean, amazing, very very good, very very good acting in that miniseries. Well done, well done. Hello, Celeste. How are you? Happy Friday, girl. What you reading? Rosa said, finished Merchants of Doubt. Not sure what's next, but I'm in the mood for nonfiction. Okay, cool. Yolanda said to Amalola, yeah, I know I need to understand some things seen as we are living in some scary times. I need to know what I'm up against. Child, I mean, yeah, we up against some mess. Rosa says, I've got to check on some Imani Perry. Curtis said to share. I read The Sweetness of Water a couple of years ago, and I thought that one of the plots in the book was not fully developed, and the book was just okay for me. Hey, Latrice, how are you? Bertie said, what you reading, Latrice? Are you not reading? You might be playing video games at the moment. Bertie said, I finished episode 3 last night and I had to stop. I have one more episode left. Oh my God. It's good though. Amala said, unknown caller. I was just flabbergasted. She sat there the whole time acting like she wasn't public enemy number one. Oh my God. Celeste said, not a thing, really. Oh, you're not reading. Okay, well, not a problem. Celeste said, started a few, but just chilling right now. Well, that's cool. We can chill. We ain't got to read all the time. Latrice said, currently reading, okay, book number 12 of the Wheel of Time series and The Orchard of Lost Souls by Nadifa Muhammad. Ooh, Nadifa Muhammad. Both bangers so far. Okay. Cher said to Curtis, oh, interesting. I'm 60% through and liking it enough, around 3 or 3.5 stars so far. Prose isn't quotable but solid. Quiet story is telling. Curious what the underdeveloped plot is. Yeah. Okay, Tracy said to Yolanda, I read Trouble in Mind by Alice Childress or Childress. I don't know that one by the author you mentioned. Okay, so she's looking for a title. Amalola said for adolescents, I saw a creator who had a book list based on incels, starting with women who hate men. Has anyone read that? I have not read that, Women Who Hate Men, but have heard that title before. Tracy said, unknown caller made me so damn sick. Amalola said, puts Orchard of Lost Souls on TBR. Bertie says, how do you feel about the Wheel of Time? That's for Latrice. If you don't mind me asking, I read the first two. Okay, so that's for Latrice. Yolanda said, Tracy Rivers, the book I'm reading is about different stories and accounts of what Black people during Jim Crow. Amalula said, men who hate women. I mean, yeah, I still haven't read it, but I know what you're talking about. Um, Bertie said, women who hate men wasn't bad, but I feel like it is out of date considering how fast things are moving in that department. True. You are right about that, Bertie. You are right about that. So yeah, yeah, we keep thinking that we're never, that we do so much we're never going to be shocked, but damn, they're still coming out with stories that shock us. It's amazing. Mm. So, yeah, I might eventually take the time to maybe I'll watch Unknown Caller over Christmas holidays or something. At the moment, the one that I'm watching on Netflix, no, on Netflix is it's called Bon Appetit, Your Majesty. It's a K drama, so good, so good. Loving it, loving it, loving it. The only thing I'm not loving is that they didn't put all of the episodes out. They're putting them out at these weird dates and stuff. That's only not good. But highly recommend that one. That K drama is very good. Latrice said Alicia books 1 through 4 and prequel 5 to 4 stars. Books 5 through 10 to 3 stars. 11 and 12 back to 4 to 5 stars. Oh, so it's like this. It's up down. Hello, hello, Curly Q. How are you? What you reading, girl? What's up? Tracy said, prepared to be flabbergasted when you watch Unknown Caller, Didi. Well, I've heard, I know the outcome because you can't avoid seeing it online. Everybody talks about it. But yeah, I would like to see how it led up to that ending that it leads up to. But yeah, I mean, when I heard the ending, I was like, wait, what? That's crazy, crazy ending. I'm a said, oh, I'm also listening to The Night Watchman. Oh, by Louise Erdrich, and I hate it. Oh, oh dear God, Louise Erdrich scares me because I'm just not sure I'm gonna like anything that she writes. I know she has a very particular way of writing, and I'm not sure that I'm gonna be able to get down with it. So I don't know. The Night Watchman, I hadn't heard anyone say anything good about that one, so I don't know what to tell you. Um, that's how I felt about reading The God of the Woods. I mean, I was reading the book and listening to the audio, and I hated it for the most part. I hated it. It was like 2 stars. I hated. I was like, I don't care about these people. I don't care about these people. And then when I got to the end, it was like anticlimactic. I was like, what is this ending? Definitely not worth the 430 some odd pages to read the book. That ending. Not good. Let's see. Okay, so that's Birdie. Thank you, Latrice. Yolanda said next on my book list, The Wind and the Willows and Anne of Green Gables. Oh, those are nice light books. I realize I need to lighten my reading up a bit. Yeah, that'll lighten it up. I haven't read those since I was a kid, but I remember liking both of them. Amalo said, "Yeah, no, I tried La Rose by her, and I had to get the boy. Yeah, I'm a kind of follow you on that and not try to embark on her because I read her, like what the book is about, the descriptions, and I'm just like I'm not really, pulled in by what I'm reading. So yeah, I probably won't insist on that. But anyway. Okay, Curly Q said still listening to Watermelon by Marion Keys, slower than it should be, but funny in parts. Okay. And physically reading The Business Trip by Jesse Garcia, a local news director. Okay. Uh, oh, oh, you were the same about The God in the Woods? I just was like, come on, y'all. What is this I'm reading? Okay, now, the best thing about this book was how she depicts the 70s. She hit that right on the she that was perfect. Perfection. Everything about, how she describes the 70s and, detective who's a woman and she's the only woman and it's a period where, it was difficult for women to be in high power jobs with a lot of men and she really did that really well. But bruh, those people, those rich people, oh my God. Oh my God. It was a no ma'am for me. I just didn't want to read about those people. And the ending, terrible. Terrible. That's all I got to say. Terrible, terrible ending. I mean, you read it all and you just go, wait, what? It's terrible, terrible ending. Curly Q said the business trip has multiple POVs, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. This one had multiple POVs too. Let's see. Birdie said I DNF God who was because it was too long. There you go. Just didn't care. Neither did I. Girl, we are the same. I did not care about those crazy, the drunk wife who's constant being pestered, being bullied by her husband, and her crazy narcissistic husband. Did not care about those people. And the sister, the girl, the drunk lady's sister. Cool. Amala said, didn't the Night Watchman win the Pulitzer? I think so. I think so. Curly Q said, thinking of joining the Dickens. Yay! Well done. Don't be intimidated. Just come on, join in. It'll be fun. Cher said to Yolanda, I had never read or watched Anne of Green Gables. Earlier this year, I read the graphic novel by Mariah Marsden, and it was lovely. Really nice illustrations. Yeah, well, it's a great story. Tracy said, I really want to get into Dorothy Coomson's. Hope next year. Yeah, I've got a couple of hers on my TBR, particularly her duology with the two girls. It's called the Ice Cream Girls, I think it is, and then it has a second part to it. That's the one that I would like to start with at some point. I don't know when. At some point. Let's see. Yolanda says share it to share. Oh, good. Thanks for letting me know. I'm a little sister Tracy. Same. I bought one of her books on my trip. Yeah, and I have another one. I think it's called The Petals on the Beach. I have that too. I'm gonna say was it terrible? Yes, it was awful. It was awful. Tracy said, that's great to Amalola. Yolanda said to Curly Q. I have the book A Tale of Two Cities by Dickens. I feel intimidated as well. I also feel that way about Steinbeck. Oh, don't feel intimidated by Steinbeck. For Steinbeck, you need to just skip and go right to East of Eden. Boom. Go to East of Eden. It's the best. That's like a fantastic read. One of my all-time favorite books. Definitely read that first because it's so so good. Um, let's see. Tracy says, "Come on over to the Bleak House." Says Curly Q. Amalula says to Yolanda, which is why the read-alongs are good. Exactly. Because when you're not reading, because when you're reading it by yourself, yes, it does feel like it feels terrible. But I think when you're reading it as a group, it's fun, and we're gonna have some little things, little activities to make sure that everybody's keeping up and that they understand and that kind of thing. It's like little questions, like little quizzes and stuff like that. Let's see. Curly Q said, "Oh, I love Steinbeck." To Yolanda, East of Eden is one of my see. I'm telling you, definitely my favorite. Yolanda said to Curly Q, "I have East of Eden as well." And start there, girl. Start there. Teresa, happy Friday, my birthday girl. How are you, Teresa? What are you reading? Rosa said, East of Eden is my favorite Steinbeck too. Don't be intimidated. No, it's real good. Curtis said to Tracy, I have heard of Dorothy Coomson. Her books like look interesting, and I would like to read one of her books in the future for sure. Let's see. Cher says Steinbeck is very accessible. I think. Yeah, I think so too. East of Eden is one of her all-time faves too. You see, there you go. If you like audiobooks, Dickens' great great grandson Gerald Dickens does awesome performances. There you go. I mean, East of Eden is really good. That one, it's just got everything going for it. Sadly, it's not the one that they make you read in school, but it is, in my opinion, his best. Um, hey, Eric Call Anderson in the house. How are you? Happy Friday. What are you reading? Okay, so Eric says she agrees with me. Steinbeck isn't intimidating. He's a joy to read. There you go. See, you've got multiple people in here saying the same thing. Bertie said, I'm really excited for the read along. I am too. I'm pretty excited. Now, it's true. It looks like a hunk of a big book, but like I said, I'm reading it from the Pink English Penguin Library edition, but there are other editions. Just get the edition that works for you. I've broken it down by chapters, not by pages. So get the one that works for you. I also have the vintage edition as well. I don't have it here next to me though. But it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be fun. Dickens always, I feel like when you read a Dickens, it's so much more fun to read it with other people because you can make a lot more fun discussions out of what you're reading. Because Because like Dickens was like, I mean, he was putting some like racist, sexist, and all kinds of crazy stuff in his books. But it's just fun to read and to kind of, dissect in a way. And I think for that alone, it's makes for a great read along. Curly Q said, "Where do I fish you?" There's no sign up. Mm-mm, we don't do that. It's not that official. Basically, what you do is if you want to read, you've got the schedule. I put the schedule on my IG, but I'll be putting it here on my community page today. So you have the schedule, so you know it's about what we're reading. It's about 6 or 7 chapters a week. So we'll be reading from October 1st all the way to I think it's the 6th or 7th of December. Um, so it's like 10 weeks of reading. And you just watch my IG stories, and you can watch also my community page here on YouTube. And I think, but I'm not positive, I might put it over on the story graph. So if people want to have like a more group discussion there, we can do it over there. So I have to, go over there and figure out how to do that to put it up over there. I know there are quite a lot of people who are on the story graph who would probably like to be able to be on the story graph to make commentary. So yeah. Let's see. Mika Sunshine Glory says, I'm looking forward to reading more books by Diane McKinney Whetstone. She's fantastic. Tumbling in particular, yeah, that's a very good book, Tumbling, which I read earlier this year. And she says hello to everybody and happy Friday. Yeah, definitely Diane McKinney Whetstone is one of those Black authors that I just don't think people read. Um, I've had her books on my shelves for a while, and I started reading her books a couple of years ago, and I've just been going through all of them like that. She's a fantastic writer. Her stories are full of lots of drama, humor. It's just a mix of a lot of different things, and she's a really wonderful writer. I recommend, you go check out, you Tumbling, you can go check out Lazaretto, you can go check out Leaving Cecil Street. Those are the three that I read. I found all three of them very, very interesting stories to read. And they usually take place, her stories in Philadelphia. That's where she's from. And she usually sets them in Philadelphia. Let's see. Birdie says the only Steinbeck that I read was of Mice and Men. Yeah, I read that at school. Chris Rat read that at school. Yeah, but you need to read East of Eden. Come on, Eden. You gotta read East of Eden. It's so good. Curly Q said, to be honest, I want to do a reread of East of Eden as a full grown adult. Yeah, I reread it a couple of years ago and discussed it on the podcast with Christy. We both really loved that book. Shani Yolanda said to share, she'll check it out. Teresa said, I'm good. I'll be on leave from work all next week to celebrate our birthday. Yay, yay, yay. And you are reading Dominion and the Secret of Secrets. Yeah, I got my copy. I got my copy here. Um, it came out last Tuesday. I was in this shop. It's like a mix of, it has books, graphic novels, it has art supplies and music supplies. It's got all kinds of things in it. But when you arrive, it has all the books, and it had on the right all the books that were, newly released. And I saw The Secret of Secrets in French. So I guess Dan Brown put all his translators in place and had them translated all so that the books could all come out at the same time. So I have that one as well. It's let me see if I can grab it. See if I can grab it. Yeah, here we go. That's it. The Secret of Secrets. Now the thing about this book is it's hella heavy, man. It's a heavy, heavy book. Okay, it is a bit long. It's on the long side. 600 and 71 pages. But for some reason, it's super heavy. I can't figure out if it's the way the pages are done or what the deal is. LaShonda's in the house. Hey, LaShonda, how are you? Happy Friday. I have missed you too immensely. We missed you over at the book club, girl. Come on back. What are you reading? If you're reading, if you're not, no problem. It's good to see you though here. Curlicue said I was a young adult when I read it. Oh, okay, yeah. Um, you're talking about when you read East of Eden, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what you're talking about? Uh, I'm assuming that's what you mean. Yolanda said to share. I will check that out. Let's see. Okay, Tracy says to Mecca Sunshine Glory, you should read Lazaretto, Reading Cecil Street. If you haven't read, already read those, yeah, I definitely agree on that. Tracy said, whatever you do, don't start first with the Grapes of Wrath. Yeah, no, don't start with the Grapes of Wrath. Start with East of Eden and then swing back to Mice and Men and then go to the Grapes of Wrath. Grapes of Wrath is a bit more, it, it, it requires a bit more, um, a bit more work from the reader, in my opinion. Eric Carl Anderson says, happy Friday. Good to see you too. Good to see you too, Eric Carl. Reading Things in Nature Merely Grow. Oh, I like that title. Oh, it's Yin Yun Lee. Okay, okay. That's why it has such a poetic title. Extremely painful how both her sons committed. Both her sons committed suicide. I thought only one of her. Oh my God, that's horrible. I knew she had a son who committed suicide. I did not know she had two. That's tragic. Um, okay, so I remember that title as well. Thanks for letting us know about that one. Yolanda said, "Thanks everyone. I will definitely put my TBR show. I am on a mission to read some of the classics. Very good, very good." Olivia says, "Read Wrath in high school, but I haven't read East of Eden yet. More on the TBR. Yeah." Eric said, "It's very good, but I need to read something." Yeah, tell me about it. You need a real palate cleanser after reading something like that. Curly Q said, "I agree, Tracy. I DNA waves a wrap." Oh my god. Um, I couldn't D. Never had to. I had to read it in high school. Um, hey D, happy Friday. What you reading, D? How you doing? Kay said, "I need to get back to Shawnee O'Neill Henderson's book for the book club. I took a break from reading to crochet. And what is this book? Shawnee O'Neill Henderson's book. What's the name of the title?" Um, Mecca Sunshine says to Tracy, "Thank you. I have them lined up. I love how she uses Philadelphia and brings the city to life in her books. She definitely does that. I watched a recent interview with her. She mesmerized me with her words. Yeah, she's very good. And she has a new book out as well called, I think it's called Family Spirit. It's her new release, which is, I think it's already out if I'm not mistaken. Olivia says, just finished Me at Random by Dana A. Williams. Okay. And Timid, a graphic novel for a book club this weekend. Hoping to finish this ends in embers for a chat on Sunday tonight. Okay. Amalona said to Curly Q, I have that issue with a few of the classics. I read Too Young. I need my adult mind to fully accept them. I mean, yeah, because you read a lot of classics, I think, when you were younger. I did read some when I was younger, but I read more in college. But there's still a lot, loads of them that I have not read. So one of my main things was I wanted to read all of the Dickens. So I've been going through them like this, but I still have like a good five Dickens to read before I'm finished them all. Let's see. Birdie said, I'm so excited to read the new Dan Brown. Yeah, me too. Um, he said, this to Mecca Sunshine Glory. D said, just finished Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange. How was that? And the Grand Paloma Resort by Clavis Natura. And Tenderhead, I had a book by Michaela Angela Davis. Hello, Tashika. Happy Friday. What are you reading? Yolanda said to Amalola, I always wondered why they have high schoolers read such heavy themed books. Um, well, there are classics that are not as heavy themed that are very readable, in the middle school and in high school. I also think it's a way of learning more about the development of the English language because you're reading English that's the British English and you're reading it from 19th century. So or even later. So I think it's a good exercise to teach, words and phrases and you get into themes and there's a whole slew of things you can do. But there are I think the first Dickens I read was let's see, which one was it that I read first? I want to say it was not A Christmas Carol. I read that after. Let me see. I'll tell you which one it is I read first. I think it was Great Expectations. That's the first one I read. I read that one. I think it was in middle school. We read Great Expectations in middle school, and so that was my first foray into Dickens. And people really liked the book or really hated it. I kind of liked it. I thought it was interesting. This journey of Pip, um, trying to find out who he really is. I found it really, really interesting. I have not read A Tale of the City, so that's one I need to read. David Copperfield, loved it. Really, really good. Christmas Carol, that's good. Oliver Twist, really good too. What else did I read? Nicholas Nickleby, excellent, very good. The Old Curiosity Shop, yeah, it was all right. I would say it's about a 3 star. I already read The Old Curiosity Shop with PETA, and we cracked up most of the time because that duo couple, the old man and his granddaughter, they was out there. It was always running from village to village. It was pretty funny. But I would give that one about a 3 star. All the other ones they give them a 4 or 5 stars. They're all really, really good. Um, let's see. Tashika said, I'm reading Josephine Baker, Fearless and Free, her new memoir. Very nice. Lisa said, yes, it's heavy. It's the paper they use. I mentioned this is to a guy in the store when I bought it, and he said, well, it's a hardcover. And I said, no, it's the paper they use. And you are correct because most hardcovers are not that heavy. I mean, this is like a weight, like it's a heavy book. Um, see, D said also finishing a Positive Obsession by Susanna M. Morris. Okay, very nice. DL said, I love Grapes of Wrath. I know I'm a weirdo. No, you're not a weirdo. I mean, somebody's got to love it. Um, Curlicue said, that's the order I did: East of Eden, Mice of Men, and Grapes of Wrath just got on my nerves. Now, I read first of Mice of Men because I had to read it in middle school. Then I had to read Grapes of Wrath in high school. And then I think I remember it was like maybe in a summer I read East of Eden, and I was like, "This is so much better than Grapes of Wrath." Why couldn't we read Grapes of Wrath at school? I was saying to myself. Um, I'm gonna say to Yolanda, I blame my mother's bookshelf for my reading too young. I grabbed anything and everything she had. Teresa said, "Get him your hardcover that was lighter," and he said, "Oh wow, yeah." You see, it's a heavy book because it's the first thing I missed. Curly Q said, "I also was listening to Grapes, so maybe that was the problem. Possibly." Hi, Green. How are you? What are you reading? Lashonda said, "I will definitely be back." Okay, good. Reading has been off for sure. Life has just really been lifing for me in 2020. Girl, it's been lifing for us all. So I totally get it. I totally get it. Kay said, "I like the Grapes of Wrath, but I watched the movie. I don't even think I saw the movie. I read the book, but I know I didn't see the movie. Who was in the movie?" Cara Renee says, "Reading The Cubans, Ordinary Lives in Extraordinary Times by Anthony Palma." Okay, very interesting. Curly Q might have read Blues Dancing. I have that. I haven't read it yet. By Diane McKinney Whetstone. It looks familiar. Nonetheless, I'm going to get into her. Yeah, her stuff is good. More people to read Diane McKinney Whetstone, in my opinion. Eric Call said, "I'd also really recommend Cannery Row by John Steinbeck. It's very, very funny and includes a curious gross mixture called a beer milkshake." Ooh, okay. I have not read Cannery Row though, so that might be one another classic that I need to pursue in my long list of classics to read. Um, because I'm sure it's on my list to read. I just have not really looked at Dickens since I reread East of Eden with with Christie. Um, Let me just see something because yeah, you see the Pearl is also another one that's good, and another that's really good is Travels with Charlie in Search of America. That one is really good. It's about how Steinbeck travels around in this little, VW van situation with his dog. He's got this poodle or whatever, giant poodle, and they travel around the U.S. meets random normal people, and it's actually very very good. And that's about it. I haven't read Tortilla Flat. I haven't read The Red Pony. I haven't read The Moon is Down. There's plenty of these I have not read. So wait, let me see. Um, yeah. So there's a lot. Hey Val, how are you? Happy Friday. Everybody's coming in today. It's great. What are you reading? Tracy said Family Spirit by Mickey Whetstone is different from her other writing. She blends magical realism into the family saga. Okay, just how that works. Cher says to D, what did you think of the Grand Paloma Resort? Seems timely with the Trump Epstein files. Curlicue said, I didn't have to read of Mice and Oh, you didn't? Wow, how did you get out of that? Eric Carl says Ian Lee's second son committed suicide last. What? My God. Horrifically tragic. The memoir has been longlisted for the National Book Award and the Bailey Gifford Prize here in Britain. Oh my goodness. Last year. That's horrific. Kay said, when I was in high school, I had to take a class called British Survey where we had to read English classics. I hated the class. The class. I used to get my classmates to give me summaries before I test. Well, you could have gotten one of those cliff notes because that's when we didn't want to read books in high school. We would get the cliff notes unless you had a teacher who was going to test you in a way that made you have to read the book. Um, But yeah, that's what we used to do is try to get the cliff notes. And let me see. Said, "As I refuse to read the books." Yeah. Val said, currently reading The Blue Between Sky and Water by Susan, Abulawa. I think it's how her name is pronounced. And Sea Scraper by Benjamin Wood. Okay, very nice. Dee said, Wandering Stars was very good and sad. It talked about how Native American children were stolen and sent to white boarding schools and stripped of their heritage and identity and the generational, I guess you wrote generational trauma. Yeah. Wow. Yolanda, yeah, and it helping us understand the English language, but it's also to understand what you are reading. Also, you can. I mean, when we were reading Great Expectations, it's very readable. This is not difficult to read. Um, Now, as you go through high school, depending on what class you're in, you may be required to, things that are a little bit more advanced. But as far as Dickens, like that's what a lot of schools were, they were Dickens, they were going to read, Great Expectations or maybe Oliver Twist, which is a lot shorter. But they made us read Great Expectations, so we didn't have a choice. Um, generational damage is done. Oh, okay, and the fight for the characters to reclaim it. It sounds yeah. Tracy said it's good that you showed him the difference. Teresa said. Amalila said was helped by seeing a lot of Dickens on TV. We got most of the serialized British TV shows of his books in Nigeria. Yeah, I don't doubt. There were some of the British shows were shown on PBS back in the day, too, so we could get that. Curly Q said that'll be my daughter. She is always pulling things from my shelf. My mother took me to the library weekly, even though she wasn't a reader at all. But that was a good mama. She took you to the library because she knew that's what you liked, so that's good. Amalua said to Kay, "Oh, Shawnee's book had Shaq crashing out." Curly Q said, "I'm in Wisconsin. A beer milkshake sounds like desert. Sounds like a dessert at a supper club." I don't know. It sounds gross to me. Kay said to Amalola, "That's because she said she questioned whether she ever loved him." And so Amalola said, "Oh wow, yeah, that'll do it." That's sad. And Kay said, "And he constantly cheated." Amalola said, "Oh well." Curly Q said, "I need to start Storygraph. I don't know my login for Goodreads. Have a new phone. Now that's perfect time." Well, you can always get a new code for Goodreads and join the Storygraph. Curly Q said, "Great titles being offered today for sure." Yes, a lot of titles for the spectrum, all over the place. I'm a little said to Kay, he needed to get that gut punched in. Okay, so Teresa said to Kay, "I questioned that myself. I'm sure she was just trying to get the money. Shaq is not the most attractive dude." Dee said to share, "I just started." Okay, so she hasn't got an opinion yet. Celeste said, "Bring Cliff Notes back." Well, they're still there. Go online. They're online. You can get Cliff Notes online or whatever they call them now. T Green said, "Exactly. High school ruined the desire to read a classic." Um, Kay said, Teresa, "I don't necessarily think she married him for that reason, but I'm sure his money did hurt. It was the cheating that hurt her." Teresa said, "Yeah, I use Cliff Notes sometimes if I wasn't quite understanding the content." Yeah. Curlicue said, "Yep, I had a teacher that would test around the Cliff Notes. He would point out the kids who only read Cliff Notes just by their test." Yeah, because they're gonna ask you questions that require you to make an analysis of your own, which is the whole point in English lit. Tracy said to Dee, There and Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange were both really good. Amalola said the classic I'll never forget is Lord of the Flies. Now, I never read Lord of the Flies. That one never was assigned to me at school, and I was never attracted to the idea of reading it, but it's definitely on my list of classics to read. Amalola said my unhinged teacher had us all pick a character to be, and we ran with it. Oh my God, that's hilarious. That's very funny. Birdie said There came out first, but Wandering Orange is technically sort of, yeah, it's a prequel. It follows some of the previous generations of some of the kids in there. There, I gave both 5 stars. Yeah, people really like those. I don't know if they did they win an award either of those two books. I'm not sure. I think they were up for awards, but I don't think they won anything. Kay said, I just bought Lord of the Flies a few weeks ago, laugh out loud. Kay said, going to a oh, you got a meeting. Okay, bye, Kay. Have a good one. Hope the meeting is short. Curly Q said, junior year of high school, my teacher made us read Maggie of the Streets, just an excerpt that ish was traumatizing. Ah, yeah, traumatizing books. D said to Birdie, I have there, but haven't read it yet. Okay, Birdie said it's a tough read, but I think it's a very important read to D. Tracy, not a dessert at the supper club. Curly Q said to Tracy, yep, welcome to Wisconsin. Heck, that sounds like breakfast at some spots. Dee said to Bertie that she totally agrees 100. He said Cliff Notes, then chat GPT today. No, no, that ain't the same. Ain't nobody doing that on no chat GPT. We not putting the author's works in no chat GPT to find out what they think about whatever. You can go online and you can put in probably Cliff Notes and they will come up. They will come up. Um, Tracy said, "Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm reading Down the River Unto the Sea by Walter Mosley. How is that going?" Dee said to Tracy, "Is that a new one?" Yolanda said, "I have read a ton of Dickens in school. I think those are light reads. Books by Steinbeck and Shakespeare are harder to digest, I think, because they're still kids and don't have those lived experiences." Um, I feel like the only ones that could really be like are more of the political ones. But like in school, we read The Merchant of Venice. I understood the Merchant of Venice was about. I was in high school. We read also Romeo and Juliet. We read what was the other one? We didn't read. We didn't read. What's the other one called? The Merchant of Venice, Romeo and Juliet. Can't think what the other one is called that we read. Oh, Midsummer Night's Dream. Those are very accessible. And now they have books where you have the old English on one side and the more modern take on the right side. So if there's really a difficulty to understand, you can get books as a teacher where you have, like I said, the modern version on the right and the old version on the left. Um, Cher said, just read Lord of the Flies last month. Very bleak and timely. I don't think I would have appreciated it as much as a child or even ten years ago. And I feel like the Lord of the Flies is really something you read when you're in high school, like at the beginning of high school. But I was never assigned that book to read in high school. Tracy said, as well as Survival is a Promise, The Eternal Life of Audre Lorde by Professor Alexis Pauline Gums. Yeah, that sounds like a good one. Tinley, hey, and happy Friday to you too and to everyone. So late today. I hope all of you are doing well and reading some books. I'm reading Dominion by Stitchins or Chichins. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. And Full of Myself by Austin Channing Brown. Okay, very nice. You made it. You made it, girl. That's all that matters. Bernie said he was nominated for, I think, the Booker. You're talking about Tommy Orange. Yeah, I think he was nominated for the Booker as well. I'm scratching my head thinking, is that right? Because I think it was. I think you're correct about that. But they did not win, sadly. Cara Renee said we mostly did Shakespeare, but we had to watch Oliver Twist the movie and put on the musical play. I will never forget that song, "Food Glorious Food." I remember that song. Oliver Twist is good though. Tracy says to D, it was published in 2018. Celeste said there won something. That's I thought it won something, but I'm not sure anymore now because I mean, I'm not sure. I would have to go back and look. I'm a little set to share. We pretty much acted out the book in class. Every person that died had to sit on one side of the class. I was also in boarding school, so we chased each other around too. Bleak but fun. Oh God, is your teacher is diabolical, man. Um, I'm a little. We didn't really get deeper meaning. Like I said, teacher was unhinged. That could go left very quickly in these times. Yeah, it could. Tracy said, "Down the river onto the sea is good so far." Curly Q said, "I struggle with most work outside of the Easy Rollins and Fearless Jones books." Well, yeah, they are fairly different. You know, the writing that he. I can kind of see that. Cher says to Amalola, a Goodreads friend said his teacher had them act out what they would do in the same scenario for a few days. He said drama, backstabbing, and chaos was off the charts. Yeah. I mean, I mean, we actually say Lord of the Flies syndrome when you put a bunch of kids together. You know they had that show where they put all the girls together in one house and they watch how they develop over a couple of weeks, and they do the same. They put all the boys in the same house. It's all boys for 2 weeks. See how they organize themselves, and it kind of could get Lord of the Fly ish, and everybody knows what that means. So I don't know why the teachers had people acting that out because drama is going to come from that for sure. Um, let's see. Curly Q said I was about to go down the Shakespeare rabbit hole, naming stuff to help you out. My daughter is obsessed. I can imagine there are some really good ones, but like I really did enjoy when we read Midsummer Night's Dream. I thought it was fun, and it was yeah, it was just a lot of fun to read and understand. Now we had to read Merchant of Venice, and we had to read what is it, Julius Caesar, and our teacher would make us memorize sections of the play. And this was a black teacher. I had this black woman who was my teacher in I think it was seventh grade, and she would make us memorize one portion of something that was said in for example, the Merchant of Venice, Julius Caesar. Yeah, and everybody was like, "Oh no!" And you had to like stand in front of the class and say it. Like she wasn't playing with us. She was not playing with us. Um, Tinley says to Curly Q, "Have you ever read Fortunate Son by Walter Miller?" I had never even heard of that. She says it's her favorite of his standalone books, and she highly recommends it. Okay, well, let me write that down, girl. Cause let me write that down because I don't think I've heard of that book before. Let's see, Fortunate Son, Walter Mosley. Okay. Curly said that Teresa mentioned reading Dominion 2. Curly no, I haven't. I added it to my list. Teresa said Lord of the Flies was a tiny book and I still DNF'd it. Yeah, because, it's like that sometimes with classics. Um, Cara Renee said Dominion is a book I definitely want to read this year. Bertie said Merchant of Venice is still my favorite of his serious works, and Much Ado About Nothing. I like Much Ado About Nothing as well, but I read that in college later on. It's my favorite comedy from Shakespeare. Yeah, that's a good one too. Teresa said, Didi, are you celebrating your birthday with this Paris Book Festival? No, 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 because it's every 2 years. So the Festival America will be happening in 2026 at the end of September. No, next weekend I'll be going out with my husband and my daughters and one of my daughter's boyfriends. That's gonna be something. I'm like, oh, she was like, can I bring my boyfriend? And I was like, okay, girl, you can bring your boyfriend. Well, this is gonna be a whole situation. Um, let's see. Okay, so Yolanda said to Mika, I loved reading Beowulf in school. Now, I did not like Beowulf. Now, maybe I need to reread it to see if I would like it, but I didn't like it in high school. I was like, oh, this is boring. Cher said William Golding narrates the AB and said girls have asked him why he only included boys in the novel. Yeah, that'd be interesting. And then Cher says he says that that is his only lived experience, but also mentions that girls and women are foolish to believe in equality when they are and have always been superior. Oh, wow. Okay. I see you, William Golding. All right now. Mila Nixon says, loved Fortunate Son too, but my favorite Walter Mosley book is Killing Johnny Fry. I could not put that book down. I think I have that on Kindle. Okay, that's good to know, Mila. Curly Q said, I saw A Winter's Tale this summer, and that's now my favorite comedy. It was a great show. I'm gonna list it all cute. And then Curly Q says, oh, new territory with the boyfriend. I know, right? Girl. Because they never bring, their boyfriends home or, if they're dating people, whatever. You just hear a name in passing and you never hear that name again. And this one, I keep hearing the name all the time. And, she's like, oh, can he come, when we're celebrating your birthday? And I'm like, okay, girl. Because I don't ever want to be meeting their boyfriends unless it's kind of like somebody they feel serious about. So yeah, you got that right. I said to Milo, thank you for the recommendation. I'll check that one out. I've never heard of that title. Yeah, Beowulf was rough for me. I ain't like it, but I don't know. Maybe I need to reread it because maybe I just wasn't. It just didn't speak to my immature soul or something. I don't know. I just didn't. Find it I didn't find it captivating, personally. So we're gonna see. We'll see what what comes out of that. Curly, I hear you about not waiting to meet and wanting to meet until it seems serious. Because I'm just like I ain't got no. I don't care. I don't care. I love the serious. Teresa said I had to memorize the hands. Oh wow. Okay, the full Hamlet soliloquy. Um, I don't even know if I remember the one from Julius Caesar. It was it started like that. It started. Um, I can't even remember how it started now. That one from Julius Caesar was pretty long. Wait. Yolanda said Tracy to Tracy. I guess I like the heavy books. Tracy said to Tinley, putting Fortunate Son on my list. Yeah, I don't think I've even heard that before. But Walter Mosley is he's written a plethora of books and in all kinds of genre. Like he is like probably one of those authors that has written in so many different genre and so many so many books. He's very he I feel like even if you don't like say for instance somebody reads Fortune and Son and doesn't like it, they could just read his and find something else to like because that's just the kind of author he is. He just writes a lot of different things. Wait, let me see. Uh, Fortune Son. Okay, here it is. Okay, this is what the that's what the cover looks like. Fortunate Son. And let's see, what does it say? It has a 3.87 stars. Um, something it says one. It says Tom, best-selling author Walter Mosley's novel about two boys, one ensconced in a life of privilege and the other in a life of hardship, explores the true meaning of fortunate. In spite of remarkable differences, Eric and Tommy are as close as brothers. Eric, a Nordic Adonis, is graced by a seemingly endless supply of fortune. Tommy is a lame black boy, cursed with health problems, yet he remains optimistic and strong. As tragedy rips their makeshift family apart, the lives of these boys diverge astonishingly. Eric, the golden youth, given everything but trusts nothing. Tommy, motherless and impoverished, has nothing but feels lucky every day of his life. In a riveting story of modern day resilience and redemption, the two confront separate challenges, and when circumstances reunite them years later, they draw on their extraordinary natures to confront a common enemy and ultimately save their lives. Okay, it sounds very mysterious, but I'm kind of the way that one sounds. So there you have it. Um, somebody says Beowulf. Wait, sorry, I missed some of this comment. Teresa said, I might be in the minority on Dominion. I am not loving it like everyone else. No, because even DL said it was fine. It was okay. She said she'd give about a 3 stars. It wasn't phenomenal, she said. So you're not the only one. Like I said to Tracy, Beowulf was rough as a high schooler. For me, it was a narrative style and inconsistent pacing. Yeah, I didn't love it either. I just was like, I don't care about this. I don't care about this. What's going on in here? Sharon said Walter Mosley will be here next week for a book signing. Oh, lucky you, girl. Enjoy yourself. Tracy said to Teresa, it's definitely not spectacular. Teresa said she's really feeling this new boyfriend if she's bringing him home. I know, right? Well, she's not bringing him home, but we're gonna meet her. Because we're gonna celebrate my birthday in Paris. At least for the moment, we're thinking Paris. So yeah, just be feeling them, girl. I don't know. Well, more on that later. Um, let's see. Let's see. Tracy said yes. Tamika, I read it back in high school and the pacing was off. Sharon said, I met S.A. Cosby. Yes, really nice. I know, right? Told you. Yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing. If you want to see how amazing he is, go to my video on Festival America. Scroll almost to like the last maybe 20 minutes of the video. You'll see S.A. Cosby talking. Like, so we had breakfast with him, and people were asking him questions, and he was just answering the questions. He was just talking and talking. Fantastic. You go there and you can hear a lot about him. And he talks about King of Ashes, working on King of Ashes. That video. He says, "Oh, my next book is called King of Ashes. It's coming out next year." And he says it in the video. It's pretty cool. Yeah, amazing. How far are you from Paris? We're about an hour's drive, so about 75 kilometers northwest of Paris. So about an hour, a good hour's, like an hour's drive, depending on what the traffic can be. Like it can be maybe a little bit more, but it's about an hour away. All right, people. So that's it. This is an extraordinary Friday because so many people came that I haven't seen in a while, and so was happy to see everyone and hear about what everybody's reading, what's going on with everybody. Let's see. Mika says reading King of Ashes for the weekend. Anyone else? Yeah, I think a few people in here have already read it. I haven't read that yet. I'm saving it. I'm saving it for when I need something to read quickly because I usually read his books really quickly because they're very thrilling to me. Um, so yeah, Tracy said thanks, Dee Dee, for another great. Well, thank you guys for showing up. Thank you, Cher. Have a great weekend, everybody. Have a wonderful end of your Friday. And I'll see you guys next Friday. I mean, you know me. I'll be here next Friday. Bye.